No lesson on cooking eggs would be complete without learning how to make a souffle. So far in the cookery school, we've talked a lot about air, and once again air is the main ingredient for a souffle, which in French actually means blown up or puffed up. We're going to kick off with a very easy souffle made with potato, cheese and spring onion, which is an absolute star. But first, you simply must have the right souffle dish. We've tracked down the best and it fits all our recipes. It measures 14 centimetres by 6 centimetres. Before you make the mixture, lightly brush the souffle dish with some melted butter. In my saucepan, I've got 25 grams of butter gently melted. And I'm going to add 50 grams of spring onions, finely chopped, including the green part. Give them 5 minutes in the butter, remove from the heat, and then add 4 tablespoons of soured cream and 4 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. Then add 2 egg yolks and beat with a wooden spoon until it's all evenly blended. Here I've got 110 grams of grated boiled potato, 30 grams of strong cheddar and 30 grams of parmesan. That's all now going to be stirred in. Add some salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and let me show you this. This is a nutmeg grater. Always use freshly grated nutmeg because it loses all of its charm once it gets ground up. We need 1/8 of a whole nutmeg here. Next, transfer it all to a mixing bowl and in another bowl whisk the egg whites until the soft peak stage. Now fold a large spoonful of the whites into the mixture to slacken the other ingredients. And this makes it then easier to fold in the rest. And once again, using gentle folding movements to keep all the precious air in. This is now piled into the well-buttered souffle dish. You'll find this piece of kitchen equipment helpful. This is a rubber spatula. See how easy it is to completely clean out the bowl. Finally, sprinkle with a little more cheese and some cayenne pepper. Then pop the souffle onto a preheated baking sheet in an oven 200 degrees centigrade, gas mark 6, and it will take 30 minutes. When the souffle is cooked, serve it as soon as possible on hot plates. And get used to the fact the souffles will always shrink just a bit, but it doesn't matter. Now take a look at this. Creamy, wobbly, super light. Serve it with a side salad, and it still tastes good if you want to serve it cold. That souffle will serve 2 people. But now we're going to make some individual souffles, which would make a very stylish first course for a special occasion. They are called twice-baked soufflés. These are made in small souffle dishes, which are called ramekins. They're 7.5 centimetres by 4 centimetres. This time we're using a very special cheese called Roquefort. We're going to start in the saucepan with 225 ml of semi-skimmed milk, 40 grams of butter and 40 grams of plain flour. Turn the heat to medium and then whisk all that together until it becomes a thick, smooth, glossy sauce. Now the heat goes down as low as possible and cook it for just 2 minutes, which cooks out the raw flavour of the flour. Add some seasoning, whisk that in, then cool slightly. Then whisk in the egg yolks followed by 100 grams of the crumbled Roquefort. Stir until most of the cheese has melted, but some of it is still visible, like this. Now whisk the egg whites until they form soft peaks. And remember, there is a lesson dedicated to whisking egg whites here online. So first of all, add 1 large kitchen spoonful of the egg whites in to loosen the mixture. Then once again, carefully fold the mixture into the egg whites, using lifting and folding movements like this. Place the buttered ramekins in an oblong tin, divide the mixture between them, then pour in about 1 centimetre of hot water from the kettle. Bake near the centre of a preheated oven, 180 degrees centigrade or gas mark 4, and they'll take 20 minutes. After that, remove them to a wire cooling rack. This helps to cool them down more quickly. They will sink down a bit, but that's quite normal. And the good news is that these little soufflés can be made well in advance. Once they're cold, they can be covered with cling film and stored in the fridge. But remove them about an hour before the second baking. Second time round, have a baking sheet with a liner. Then slide a small palette knife all round the ramekins, pushing quite firmly and easing it. Then turn them out first onto the palm of your hand and then right way up onto the baking sheet. Then place them near the centre of the oven, 180 degrees gas mark 4 for 30 minutes. While they're cooking, heat the remaining Roquefort with 150 ml of double cream. And serve the soufflés on warmed plates with the sauce poured over. Now we need to end on a high, forgive the pun. And this is going to be a very easy hot chocolate rum soufflé, which will serve 4 to 6 people. In the bowl here, I'm melting 75 grams of dark 70% cocoa solids chocolate with 1.5 tablespoons of double cream. As we've seen before, it's sitting over a small amount of barely simmering water without the bowl touching the water. Then 1.5 tablespoons of rum, or you could use brandy. Then just leave it to cool. In the meantime, brush the soufflé dish with melted butter and dust with caster sugar. In a small bowl, whisk 3 egg yolks thoroughly and then whisk that into the chocolate mixture. Now, first whisk up 4 egg whites to the soft peak stage, then whisk in 1 rounded tablespoon of golden caster sugar. In another large bowl, fold the egg whites into the chocolate, beginning with about 1/4, and repeat until it's all folded in. Now pour the whole lot into the soufflé dish. If you get some of the whisked egg whites showing through, just use a skewer to squiggle them back into the mixture. Then the soufflé dish goes onto a preheated baking sheet near the centre of the oven. It will take about 20 minutes to rise up and become springy to the touch. Meanwhile, we've got some chocolate sauce made with melted chocolate and double cream, keeping warm in a pan over hot water. Now serve the soufflé dusted with icing sugar on warmed serving plates. Then some chocolate sauce is poured over each portion and a generous amount of chilled pouring cream. And that, everyone, is our grand finale. Hope you enjoy it.